Welcome to Chapter 9, Lesson 9, the last chapter as it relates to the prep CompTIA training guide. So I'm going to cover basically print devices. Again, this is one of those areas where I would say to you a lot of it is, I won't say common sense, but it's very easy to troubleshoot some of these areas and issues. We've all ran into them before. However, again, because it's covered in the A+ security training guide, I want to make sure I cover it here in my training guide from here. So let's start. Okay, so again, things to be familiar with: laser printers, utilizing a laser beam to produce an image on a drum, which is then transferred to paper. Again, that's kind of definition from that perspective. Inkjet printers use liquid ink sprayed through any tiny nozzle onto the paper. Multi-function printers, again, combine printing, scanning, copywriting, and sometimes faxing capabilities into one. IP addressing, knowledge of how to assign and manage IP address for network printers. Windows and Mac OS, installing printer drivers and configuring settings on different operating systems. Driver compatibility, ensuring the correct drivers are used for the specific operating systems. Unboxing and setup, be familiar with the physical setup of printers, including power connections and initial configuration. Network security, configuring network settings to prevent unauthorized access to the printer. Troubleshooting skills, ability to diagnose and fix problems, common problems with printers such as paper jams, connectivity issues, and print quality problems. All right, with that said, let's kind of cover those topics. Again, we're going to cover deploying printer and multifunction devices, replacing print drivers, consumables, and then troubleshooting print device issues from that perspective. All right, so again, Chapter 9, as I start with introduction, is we're going to provide a comprehensive overview of supporting print drivers, covering various types of printers such as laser, ink, and multifunction printers. It's going to be a detail really talking about the essential knowledge required for IP addressing, driver compatibility, and the installation process across different operating systems. This chapter really emphasizes network security, troubleshooting skills, and maintenance practices, which is critical for efficient printer operation. Additionally, it outlines the steps for deploying printers, configuring networks, settings, and ensuring proper driver installation. Practical insights into replacing print drivers, consumable, and resolving common print device issues, and also provided making this chapter really invaluable resources for managing and maintaining print device effectively. I'm going to also add looking at the videos that I created to support this. All right, so deploy printer and multifunction is kind of the title from there. So when you think of deploying the printer and the multifunction aspects of it, is let's first talk about your printer and just basically unboxing and setup. It's pretty straightforward. When deploying a printer, the first step is to unbox the device and choose an appropriate location for the setup. This should be a well-ventilated area with easy access to power outlets as well as network connections. From a print device connectivity perspective, you want to connecting the print device to your network can be done via wire or wireless method if it's available. Some are not always available. Some will still require it to be wired only. So you want to check your configuration, and you want to check the features and functions of the printer you purchased. You want to ensure the printer is properly configured to communicate with all necessary devices on the network. And then from a printer driver and page distribution perspective, your printer drivers are software that allows the computer to communicate with the printer. That's really what it is. It's going to translate data into a format that the printer understands, page description language, which is PDL, such as PostScript, and PCL, which defines the layout, and graphics of the printed device. Graphics of the printed page, ensuring accuracy and high quality of print output. Here's just a common display of how you would normally go in and set these things up. It's pretty straightforward. You will go into your setup, you will add a printer, and you'll be able just to add these printer devices to your. So it's pretty intuitive from my perspective. So again, that's been my experience from that. Even from a corporate perspective, normally you're able to add these in pretty quickly and easily. Okay, now printer properties. Again, your printer properties allow users to configure various settings such as paper size, print quality, color management, access. These settings are through the printer control panel on your computer interface. Properly adjusting these printer properties ensure an optimal performance and print results tailored to the particular specific need. Your printer preference enables users to set up default printer settings such as paper size, orientation, print quality, and color options. Customizing preferences ensures consistent output tailored to specific needs. Again, assessing preference through the print dialog box or printer software to streamline printer tasks and enhance efficiency. Again, through this printer preference, you could set up the configuration that best suits your need from that perspective. We've all probably done it. If you haven't done it, again, hopefully my video walks you through it. Happy to walk you through some coaching on this. This is, again, pretty straightforward from that perspective. Okay, printer sharing. Again, printer sharing allows multiple users on a network to access a single printer. This setup involves configuring permissions and network settings to ensure secure and efficient access. Moving down to printer security, you want to secure your printer, which involves setting up access controls and security protocols to prevent unauthorized use. This includes configuring user authentication, which is important, monitoring print jobs for potential security breaches. Under scanner configuration, you have a multi-function printer that often includes scanning capabilities. Now again, not all have it. I have three printers actually. One is just a Xerox black and white, can't scan, can't do anything, but I use that for real printing of just black and white items I need. I have another HP which has the color and the scan. Again, you just have to make sure you're utilizing the right system from that. So again, under multifunction printers, which include scanning capabilities, setting up the scanner just involves configuration, resolution, file format, and destination for the scanned documents once you scan it from that perspective. All right, so you got to replace your printer consumable. Let's talk about laser, because the other printer I have is laser. I try to give you a definition. Laser printers use a multi-stage imaging process to produce printed documents. Again, from an exam perspective, might be a question there. Processing stage. The processing stage involves preparing the print job and sending it to the printer. The charging stage is in the charging stage, the drum is given a uniform negative charge by the primary cornea wire. The development stage is during the development stage, toner particles are applied to the charge areas of the drum to form the image. Again, I answered it, or really gave you from an exam perspective. So it might say, what are the three stages? You could say processing stage, charging stage, and developing stage. It's kind of what they're looking for. They might give you another answer, another like multiple choice, or they might say select the three or the two that's correct from that perspective. So how do you replace it? Pretty straightforward, but again, and I need to add in the other three components. I got ahead of myself. So you also have the transferring stage. So the transferring stage moves the toner image from the drum onto the paper. You have the fusing stage. In the fusing stage, the toner is melted and fused onto the paper using the heat and pressure. Then the clearing stage involves cleaning the toner, cleaning the drum to remove any residue toner and prepare it for the next print job from that perspective. So moving on, replacing and the maintenance kit. So some laser printers require a maintenance kit replacement after a certain number of pages. Now this kit typically includes any new drum, rollers, and any other components to keep the printer running efficiently. From your inkjet printer imaging process. So your inkjet printers use different imaging processes compared to laser printers. The print head sprays tiny droplets of ink onto the paper to form the image. Now you have the carrier system. The carrier system, which moves the printer head back and forth, needs to be well maintained for smooth operation. So you got to regularly lubricate the carriage rails and check for any obstacles or wear and tear. You want to clean the encoder strip to ensure the carriage belt is in good condition to avoid misalignment and print errors from that perspective. Now, as you think about continuous maintenance around the ink printer maintenance, so the ink printer requires regular cleaning to prevent clogs on the nozzle and to ensure high print quality. Regularly checking and cleaning the print heads, replacing the ink cartridge is needed, and perform periodic deep cleaning cycles. This will keep the printer clean and dust free, so it extends the lifespan and maintains the print clarity. Very important. When we move on to paper handling and duplexing assembly. Proper paper handling and maintenance of the duplex assembly is crucial for avoiding paper jams and ensuring smooth printing. You want to use high quality paper. I cannot stress this enough. You want to adjust the paper guides correctly. You want to clean the paper feed roller regularly. And for duplexing, you want to ensure the assembly is clean and free from debris to prevent double-sided printing issues that may occur. Under replacing the ink cartridge, when the ink levels are low, replacing the ink cartridge is necessary. This involves removing the empty cartridge and installing a new one, ensuring proper alignment for optimal performance. Thermal printer maintenance. So a thermal printer requires a specific care to maintain their functionality. You want to clean the thermal heads with an an aerospray alcohol to remove any residue, and regularly check the platen roller for wear. You want to really use approved thermal paper to prevent damage to the print head and ensure consistent print in terms of the quality. Moving on to impact printer maintenance. The impact printers are known for their durability. Still require maintenance. You want to clean the print head and the ribbon path to ensure clear printing. Replace the ribbon periodically and check the tractor feed mechanism for any issue. Regularly, again, lubricating the moving parts to prevent mechanical failures. Again, I'm talking a lot about various printers. Generally, as technology advances, some of these will become outdated. But again, you might run into some of these old printers depending on whether you're at a university. So that's why we cover some of these things. You might say, oh, they don't even use these anymore. In some cases, you're absolutely right. In others, they're still out there. It really, really depends. Again, the exam still talks about it, so I still cover it from that perspective. 3D printer maintenance. So the 3D printer needs meticulous care for precise output, and I would agree with that. You have to clean the build platform and the exterior nozzle regularly. You want to ensure the filament feed is smooth and free from tangles. Periodically check the calibration of the printer to maintain accuracy in the printing complex structures. You want to user, manufacturer, and recommendation. Cleaning of the solution and tools is required for the really good maintenance of this. So let's talk about troubleshooting print device issues. The first thing we're going to look at connectivity issues, like always. Is the printer on? I'll go back and kind of read what I wrote here. Connectivity problems can disrupt printing tasks. Ensure the printer is properly connected to the network or connected via USB or wireless connection. You want to check for your updated drivers and firmware. You want to resolve network issues by restarting the router and ensuring the printer is within range of the wireless signal. Again, checking to make sure the printer is on, checking to make sure the cables are not loose. These are the foundational things you want to do first before, again, you start looking into the software and thinking something's wrong there. On the printer feed issues, if you all have printer feed issues such as paper jams or misfeeds can hinder the printing efficiently, which we all kind of run into. You want to regularly clean, you want to regularly clean the paper feed rollers and ensure that the paper tray is loaded correctly. You want to use appropriate paper size, and then types recommended by their printer manufacturer to avoid feed problems. Again, just adhering to the normal guidelines with anything else. As paper feed problems can cause damage by using paper, obviously, that is not made for the system. You want to ensure the paper is stored properly to prevent moisture, moisture in the paper being absorbed into it. You would also adjust the paper guides to fit the paper size correctly. Regularly inspect and clean the feed rollers to maintain smooth paper feeding. Again, I experience all these myself, sometimes every other day, or I shouldn't say every other day. It just really depends. I'm always checking the paper size to make sure I didn't do anything wrong. 9 out of 10 times it's me though. Paper quality issues. So paper quality, again, significantly affects the print quality. You want to use high quality paper for your printer. Low quality causes jams, print quality, wear on the printer. So ensure the paper is free of wrinkles, tears, and moisture to really achieve optimal performance. Laser print defects. So laser printers can experience print defects like streaks or smudges and ghosting. Again, that's because you didn't clean it. Regular cleaning, the printer components, it's the drum and rollers. You got to do that. You want to replace toner cartridge and image drums as needed. And again, use high quality toner to ensure proper calibration to minimize defects. Again, some of this you may say is common sense, but again, when I used to service printers, the amount of dust and grossness we used to pull apart was just amazing. It's almost like you bought the printer and they never looked at it again, never cleaned it. They kept it in dusty areas. So really, hygiene on printers is very important. Ink print defects, again, inkjet printer defects include streaks, smears, and faded prints. You want to clean the head regularly and use high quality ink cartridge. You want to ensure proper alignment and calibration of the print head, and you want to avoid using low quality or expired ink to maintain print quality. Dot matrix print defects, again, some of them may or may not be around. So dot matrix printers may produce blurs or incomplete prints. Regularly clean the print head and plate and rollers. You want to ensure the ribbon is properly installed and replace it when worn out. Again, check for alignment issues and make necessary adjustments to maintain the print clarity. Again, a lot of printers, a lot of different areas they maybe use, still use, not use. Again, just really look, I like to say fit for purpose. If it applies, make sure you're doing the appropriate maintenance for the printer that you have, even if it's out outdated or old. Again, there may be a reason that you need to keep it, someone needs to maintain it, etc. So again, just something to think through. So finishing the issues. So finishing issues such as binding, folding, or stapling problems can also affect the final output. Ensuring finishing equipment is properly maintained and compatible with the printer. Use appropriate settings for the desired finishing tasks and regularly inspect the equipment for any mechanical issue. Again, just common, I won't say common sense things, but things from a maintenance perspective you should be aware of. Print job issues include incomplete prints, wrong outputs, or stuck jobs. Ensure that the printer queue is clear of any stall jobs. Check printer settings and preferences to match the desired output. Regularly update printer drivers again and firmware to prevent software related issues. Again, sometimes you have to clear out the queue. Things just got stuck in there. Maybe you ran out of ink and the jobs are there and there's a sync up issue between your printer and the current job. So again, you just want to maybe clear the printer out in the queue and then resend your print jobs again. I know I had to do that myself once or twice. So let's move on to the questionnaire part of it, of the chapter. So what are the key steps involved in deploying a printer and multifunction device? So deploying a printer and multifunction device begins with unboxing and selecting an optimal setup location. You want to ensure adequate ventilation and proximity to a power and network connection. The next step involves connecting the device to the network, either through a wired or wireless method, and installing the appropriate printer drivers for compatibility with the operating system. You want to configure the printer properties and preferences, such as print quality, paper size, as follows, etc. as follows. You want to share the printer on a network if you need to, because maybe you don't, maybe it's just a single use, and set up security measures to control access and prevent unauthorized use are essential steps. Finally, if the device includes scanning capabilities, you want to configure the scanner settings that really align and completes the deployment process from that perspective. What are common phishing issues in printing and their solutions? Common issues include binding, folding, or stapling problems. Solutions really involve, again, maintaining the finishing equipment, ensuring capability, compatibility with the printer, using the appropriate settings, and regularly inspecting the equipment for, again, mechanical issues. Again, you may wonder what does that really mean? So some of these systems come with the ability to staple. So they will staple your documents. They may fold your documents. So these are additional parts within your printer, and sometimes this is the area that you need to look into to help solve some of your problems that you may run into from that perspective. Again, moving on to glossary of terms, please study these just from an exam perspective. Printer driver, printer properties, printer sharing, laser printer image process, toner cartridge, maintenance kit, cartridge system from there. I've also included, I have two YouTube channels where I talk about everything cybersecurity and cybersecurity all day, every day. Again, I try to present more deeper technical things that you might find interest to. So go out, check out my channel, subscribe as need be. To kind of wrap it all up, as you go and look at your journey and you go about your journey of getting your certification, your A+, Security Plus, Network Plus, Ethical Hacker, CISM, CSMPs, all that I have, CISOs, CROs, every bit of your learning drives your journey into becoming a cybersecurity professional and a practitioner, I like to call it. So this is just one piece of it. So I've covered components or good, decent components, I believe, that will be on the exam. I talked about a lot of things, but I'm going to just reiterate I've also included practice exams or that I'm going to recommend that you take that was given to you as part of this course. I read my ebook also that covers other things related to things you may have on the exam. Like I said, I've done them all. I've done boot camps. I've done different types of training. I'm going to wrap it up and just say one of the things that was really successful for me was the practice exams. Obviously, the training I took, courses like these and others, helped give me a foundation, a different perspective on how to learn the material. But it really wasn't until I started taking those practice exams and I started to figure out where I got things wrong. I would go back to the training course. Oh, I said, okay, that's what it meant, etc. Because any instructor is going to do his or her best to really convey information to you. But again, everyone learns differently. And from my perspective, I use videos. I'm using this course. I'm using an ebook. So I'm hope and the practice exam. So between all those concepts of material, I'm hoping that I've given you enough to be successful in passing. Now, again, also offering coaching to help you through certain topics that you are just struggling with from that perspective. And you'll be able to sign up for any coaching that you might want to kind of help you through some of the material from that perspective. So I'll leave you with that. Good luck, and please reach out if you pass the exam and say, hey, this helped, or you might come back and say, hey, this didn't help at all. Again, not all training resonates with everybody. Like I said, everybody learns differently. Each instructor works differently from that perspective. Training and guaranteeing of a passing grade, I think it's all subjective. From that, I think you have to put in the work to do it. And then from there, if you do the work and you're passing, I'd probably leave you, I said I'd leave you with something else. If you're passing these practice exams and you're doing well above 85, 90%, 9 out of 10 times you are going to pass the exam. Make sure you're receiving a high score on those exams. If you're receiving like 70%, you're not ready. Make sure you're at least 95%, you're getting a lot of the things right. Because if you're at 95%, then you will most likely pass from that. Because the questions, they do change them up, but the concepts and the foundations of it doesn't change. So if you know what, again, I say, what an infrastructure as a service, you know what that is, or platform as a service, and you know the definition, you know the capabilities of that. Then any question they throw at you is we word it differently, but it still will meet that definition from that perspective. So anyway, I'll end it there. Thank you for your time. Look for more courses from me. I want to bring more. Not only in the cyber perspective, but other areas that I've gained some skill set in and around IT, cyber, hacking, etc. that I could at least want to bring to the forum and educate everyone on. All right, thank you very much, Dr. Paul Morrison. Please send me an email for further information. Bye.